Metal rods, ant poison, and hard drugs. These are the 10 scariest things found in candy, part 2. Number 10, metal rod and Snickers bar. Don't you just love moms? They do so much to keep us safe, even when you think you're all grown up. The mom in this story kept her kid out of the ER by being careful. A mother in Indiana was looking through her daughter's candy after trick-or-treating when she saw something out of the ordinary, an already open snack-sized Snickers bar. That was enough to be worried about, because then it got even worse. There was a whole metal rod in there. That's a pretty bad Halloween prank, don't you think? The mom gave the chocolate bar to the police, who said the investigators contacted Mars Inc., the candy maker. The company reached back and said the candy likely did not come from their plant because Mars runs everything through metal detectors. The chief said they'd used the wrapper to try and track the candy back to who bought it, but this didn't lead anywhere. This could have injured anyone who tried to eat this without taking a look. Number 9, poison. Horror movies are not exactly kid-friendly. You gotta watch out for the blood and gore, plus the nightmares are no joke. So how does a kid avoid a real-life horror film that starts with candy? In 1964, a lady in Long Island called Helen Field got really irritated by all the kids she thought were too old for trick-or-treating. That's when she made special treats for them. Field gave out arsenic ant poison buttons, dog biscuits, and steel wool pads wrapped in tin foil for Halloween. Yikes, that's just plain wicked. Doctors established that the ant poison may have killed little kids, so Field had to go to court to answer for her crime. She stayed at Central State Hospital for a while, and she was later charged with child endangerment. Sounds like a really bad prank to play, huh? Number 8, LSD. Ever heard of parents' Halloween candy tax? If you've never had your mom and dad take a bit of your candy haul, you are very lucky. In 2013, a woman in Salinas, California ate a Snickers bar from her daughter's bag of Halloween candy after trick-or-treating. Right after that, the woman began suffering from a panic attack and then felt like she was floating at the same time. She ran to the ER and the doctors were stumped. She was then treated for symptoms similar to those that can happen when you take LSD, which is a hard drug. How did this even get inside the candy? Police went door to door investigating the neighborhood where the family had been trick-or-treating, but they didn't find anything. Seems like someone's hiding a huge secret in that city. Number 7, cyanide. We've heard stories when kids get saved by their parents. Did you know some parents can actually hurt their kids? I'm just as shocked as you are. Timothy O'Brien's death became a huge news story after the 8-year-old boy was poisoned with cyanide in his pixie sticks. After a lot of investigation, it turned out that Timothy was poisoned by Ronald Clark O'Brien, his own father. The man was trying to collect a $40,000 life insurance policy on his son. Man, how could a dad be so heartless? He also gave poisoned pixie sticks to his 5-year-old daughter and 3 neighborhood children. Thankfully, the police got the candy before the children consumed it. O'Brien became known as the man who killed Halloween and the Candy Man in prison. Number 6, thumbtack. Did you ever play those games where you had to pick out the odd thing in a line of several items? Shoes, hats, clothes, pencil. But what if rather than picking things out, the odd thing shows right up in your candy? One Halloween, a family reported something strange to the police. It was Halloween, but their trick-or-treat candy had something suspicious in it. The police in Michigan started investigating a report of a thumbtack found in a Tootsie Roll. That in no way sounds like something sweet. When the Blackman-Leone Township Department of Public Safety heard of it, they were outraged. Why would anyone do that to a kid's haul of candy? Sounds like someone with a grudge if you ask me. You kind of get why parents are so paranoid about their children's candy. Number 5, Dramamine. With this next story, you'll ask yourself, since when did pills start to look like candy? Well, okay, Smarties might make the cut, but not much else will. So how do you get them confused? In 2015, a Tucson, Arizona mom found a bottle of Dramamine in her 5-year-old daughter's candy bag. Dramamine is a drug used to prevent vomiting and dizziness. How did a bottle of this find its way into a kid's candy bag? The bottle was open and had 6 pills in it. The drug is usually safe for adults, but it's a different story when it comes to kids. You can start seeing things that aren't actually there and also suffer from very bad seizures. The girl's mother warned parents to sort through their kids' candy since she hadn't noticed the Dramamine at first. It would have been horrible if she hadn't at all. Number 4, bullets. How do you smuggle bullets without getting caught? Turns out putting it in candy is not the smartest way to go. A preschooler in Peebles, Ohio opened a box of Milk Duds to find a couple of bullets inside. His very scared mother started ripping open the other boxes of Milk Duds and you guessed it, they were all filled with bullets instead of candy. Each box contained 3 bullets, which appeared to be from a .22 caliber handgun. The candy came from the kids' preschool, where parents had been asked to bring in candy and hand it out to the kids. Maybe one of the parents is in the mafia. Maybe they sell gun parts. Number 3. Metal blade. This story is another lesson why you should be careful after Halloween hauls. You never know what might be lurking in your Snickers bar. These kids had just wrapped up a night of trick-or-treating and were about to dive into their candy. Their dad came in and said, "Make sure you check the candy and make sure it's not poisoned." Like other kids, they for sure never thought there would be anything in the candy. They all laughed at their dad, but they checked anyway. Listen to your parents, kids. They were looking through the candy, and when one of the kids picked up a Snickers, they saw that it was slightly open at the bottom. When they opened it more, they saw a metal, and then the Snickers bar broke apart. Sitting right there is a giant metal razor. A full-size razor blade was hidden inside the mini chocolate bar. Why would anyone do that? Do you think it was supposed to be a scary joke? Number 2. Marijuana. Drug dealers are some of the most dangerous people around. They always have to find ways to carry illegal stuff without getting caught. Even though marijuana may be legal in some states now, they had strange ways of selling it when it wasn't. One dealer from Hercules, California thought of a perfect plan. Transport them in Snickers candy bar wrappers. Great idea, right? Unfortunately, when he attempted to send the marijuana to his customers, he got the wrong address, and his plan ended up falling apart. As the letter was left stranded at the post office, the worker decided to hand out the Snickers bars to the kids. And that's how 4 Snickers bars filled with marijuana ended up in someone's trick-or-treat bag. Police noted that the Snickers bars were so perfectly resealed that anyone could have mistaken the candy for actual candy. Genius, but still evil. When they opened the wrapper, they found marijuana buds wrapped tightly in a plastic bag. I'm pretty sure it didn't smell like chocolate. It must have smelled like grass or like drugs. Now the moment you've all been waiting for. Number 1. Rusty nails. In a lot of other scary stories, kids were able to avoid getting hurt. Parents always swooped in to save the day. However, what happens when your mom's not there? In another 2014 Halloween candy horror story, a young boy from Spokane, Washington found something in his candy, but it didn't end well. This little boy found a rusty nail in his Halloween candy, but not because he was checking around for weird items. Nobody ever thinks there could be anything in their candy. The poor kid was eating it when he bit down on the nail, and yes, it poked his cheek. Fortunately, he was not seriously injured, and he didn't need a trip to the ER. I'd personally be terrified of biting into a piece of candy from then on. That's worse than getting your teeth pulled. The mother of the young boy's friend proceeded to open up the rest of his trick-or-treat candy and found several other nails inside them. There were also staples and what were probably broken parts of a wristwatch. Halloween bad luck? I think so too. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon.